What's going on? It's Joey Boosted, and even though this isn't Miata related, I mean, we got the Miata there, and then we got another Miata there. Today we're going to be just focusing on getting my starter on my S10 done. This is a 2000 2.2 or 2004 cylinder S10, and the starter's been having some issues recently. Mainly when I crank it, keeps cranking even if I turn the key off. And I was going to get it's most likely a solenoid, but I got a whole brand new, or not brand new, but remanufacture one with lifetime warranty for like $100. So might as well get that and just do the whole thing while I'm there. First thing you're gonna do, jack up the truck. I use the front jack here, or the front jacking point right there. Be careful, don't let the jack slide off like it did to me. And then secure it with at least 2 stands, and I always use the jack as well. You could even do more, put the tire under to support it. But yeah, at least 2 stands and the jack at minimum. I usually use at least 4 stands for something, but this is what I'm gonna do for right now. So jack up the vehicle, get it up, remove the negative battery cable right there. Take it off, put it down. You don't wanna have any live power when you're working on starter. And I already said take off the tire, but yeah, take off the tire, put it underneath there, because you're gonna need to be able to access the starter, which you can kind of see the bolts right down there. So it's going to be helpful. But once that's all done, get your little creeper there, and then we can go here and get this thing checked out. So the starter location, this one, you can kind of actually see it right there, but we can roll under a little bit more, right? And boom, the starter presents itself here. But you know, you'll notice there's a little beam right here. Can't really get out, or you can't really get the starter out without this out. So this is a transmission, I guess, like a support bracket. So there's three little nuts to take out. One here, or bolts. One there, one here, and one there. It looks like it's one Y, like a backwards Y. And I already did start removing these because I wasn't planning on making a video. But I think this one is a size, what is this? I have it, half. So you got a 1/2 bolt, and then for some reason they don't want to make your life easy. You know, you would want to have the same size bolt and, you know, right next to each other. But no, this one actually is a 13/16. Nope, I'm sorry, 5/8. It's a 5/8 for this one. So we're gonna do that as well, which I already started loosening, but it's pretty easy to get them off. I didn't really have to use a brake or anything. You kind of just sit here and then you can pull and use your leverage to get this going. But one of them slides off. It's actually a nut for the 5/8 one. It's not a bolt, so it slides off a little stud there. And then we can get this bracket out the way. Put that right there. Now, we come under here. We have a lot more access to the starter. And look, we got a bolt right there, boom. And a bolt right there, boom. Which actually very nicely is not in the way of the exhaust. You can get around it with the extension. So we got 1 bolt, 2 bolt. But the one that's going to be fun is we want to access 3 bolts there, 3 connections. You're only really paying attention to 2, because one of them is on the starter that goes to the starter, from the solenoid to the starter. So and remember, negative battery cable off when you're doing this. Has to be off for safety. Yeah, it's going to be the bottom one. So we're going to really only be taking off that one and the little one. We're going to leave the one on the left. The one on the left goes straight to the starter, so there's no point in taking it off. But and it's a little bit right there. When I bought the truck, it was a really bad connection right there. So it was giving me a ton of starting issues, like where it would spark and it wouldn't really make a good connection. So I had to kind of like get a terminal, hammer it together and tape it, and it's been working fine. It's not the cause of the starting issue here now, but that's why it looks like that. So, but yeah, touch the top one and the bottom small one. We'll leave the big left one. All right, so you're gonna quickly find that this piece of exhaust is not gonna want to work with you here, because I don't really remember how I got this on there, but you know, right now it's being very difficult with that piece of exhaust. So if you look right here, this is a pass-through wrench. Even with the size 13 on it and the pass-through wrench, because of this here, the exhaust, it doesn't let it fully sit. And this is pretty much how I'm accessing both bolts. Over the top of this metal one, This is what the other videos didn't show, so I really want to emphasize it. And then you can get to the 14 on top with the offset box end, and then the 8. But I did the 8 first, and then the 14. And remember, this is with the bottom bolt off and the other one really loose, so you can move it around if you need, but then you pretty much just turn and then reset on there and turn, and this thing will come off. And then the remainder of it, once you do it with the box end from the bottom enough to where you can get it off, probably like halfway, then you can come in with the ratchet and get the rest of the way. And now I'm just undoing it by hand here. And it fell, and we are good. All right, and there we go. Old one, new one. Like I said, the biggest thing on this one is getting to those 2 little bolts. Remember, you don't have to touch the third one because obviously it connects straight from the starter to the solenoid, so you don't even have to worry about that. But yeah, once again, like I said, this is the longest part. Undo at least what I did. You don't have to do it. Remember, I'm not a mechanic or anything, certified or anything like that. But this is what I did. I undid this one, loosened this one so you can move it around just a little bit. You might not even have to do that, but that's what I did. And then I was able to go underneath with a box end wrench, get this. And then I was able to do the same with this one, which I then loosened them until about halfway, which I then was able to get from the driver's side, reaching through and unscrewing it the rest of the way, either with a ratchet or with my hand when it was loose enough. You just can't get it, obviously, the stud when it's all the way down. You can't get the ratchet on there. But when it comes about there from underneath, when you're working it with the box end wrench, when it gets to there, then you can get it off by the driver's side. All right, just showing you how I got this starter on, super easy. I just put in those 2 15s right there, tighten them down once it's all lined up. And then regarding the washer and the nut, you can very easily, when you have creeper especially, move back, and then about waist height, you can just reach up and put on the washer, put on the nut, screw it on. Same thing with the 8, 13, 8. Remember, you're not messing with this one right here. And screw it on, and boom. And just so you see, I already did it, but you're just reaching up pretty much over the top of the starter. It's very comfortable. It's not like you have to be in a super weird position. It's very easy to reach up and access this. Then the only thing I had to use, box end wrench 8. And same thing, and what I do is I reach, or I put it over this metal piece right here, put it through sideways, and then you can turn it. And then right up here, you can kind of see, you can easily access it to tighten it. Same thing with this one, although the 13 you might be able to access a little bit easier with the ratchet from the side. The driver, you just reach through and tighten it down. But yeah, we're getting there. And then, yep, right here. And I must have had, you know, a very strange starter, the last one, or a slightly different model, I don't know, because the stud was way longer, which gave me the issue from earlier. This one, and you might have not even had the problem that I had earlier, but this one's so much easier to get on there and tighten. Like, you can more than easily get the ratchet in here and get it on here. And big thing though, do not over tighten this. Like I said before, very easy to snap it. I didn't even really tighten it that hard, at least I thought. So be very, very gentle when it starts getting tight there. You know, maybe a little bit more, and then leave it. Don't like over tighten this little 13 here, because it will break the stud, and you're gonna have to take the whole thing out and bring it back. But yeah, that whole issue before with you know, not being able to get the wrench in here, that might have just been the particular starter I had. You may or may not run into that situation, but this is going on very nicely here. All right, after you made sure you've tightened down those 2 15s here, nice and tight, the spec, then you come up here, and I would, what I did is I kind of like wiggled around both of these, make sure that they're nice and tight, that they're not gonna, you know, the cables can't really move from both the 8 and the 13 here. Just made sure the starter's stable, and then I went ahead and I started putting this back on, which is super easy, 3 bolts. And I forgot what I said earlier, because this video was last night and today, so, but this is actually a 15, no, I'm sorry, this is a 13, this is a 13, and this one back here in the Y, the little stud for that bracket, is actually a 15. Yeah, I don't know why they couldn't do them all 13s. I think it might have been like 5/8 yesterday, I don't know, I don't remember, but yeah, this one here, just tighten it down, tighten them all down, make sure they're nice and good, and then we will get this this tire on and start getting it going. Excited. All right, now that the tire is back on there, everything's torqued down, gonna get this negative battery terminal reattached. With the negative battery cable reattached, let's go ahead and get this started. So let's see if the labor has paid off. All right. Beautiful. Sounded different too. It sounded a little bit more, I don't know, solid, if that makes sense. She started up though. I'll take it. Starter did its job. Beautiful. So yeah, that's how you do it. Running perfect.